Hello there, I'm just going to do a video, and again I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence. I talk about this a lot, but that's because it's very important. A lot of people probably won't even care to even research this stuff, or I didn't at the start, and I started doing audio clips a few years into my unexpected spiritual awakening. And this stuff really came by accident. Obviously I was meant to find out about this stuff, and then I started to look at further a little bit, and then I found out the smart grid and what it all is, and from the technical people behind it, watched a few to give me real insight onto what this is. Because they basically admit it, they tell you what it is, and maybe they don't think they're doing anything wrong. And they're not doing anything wrong if we actually manage this correctly. It's not the technical people. Maybe it's not them. It might probably the system. You could be a great scientist, but the system might use that for their own gain. You see, and with this knowledge of awakening and awareness of what this is, then we can make the AI smart system work for us. But that's not why it's there. That's what people have got to realise. It's not there to be for you, it's there to be against you. And how they're doing it is they're slowly getting kids addicted to smartphones until you get to a point where you're actually standing there and it's like you've got the smart grid surrounding you and there's no way out. It's just like a perceptual maze that you can't get out of. And that's what it's doing to kids right now. You look at kids I don't have a mobile phone, and I'll never get one. I used to have one when I was younger before I had this awakening, but I will never ever get one again. If people want to contact me, they can do it on the internet or face to face. I prefer human interactions than a sleazy text. But most people, you just have to look at kids, for example, to see where it's going. And because they're so addicted, and because the parents would rather give them a phone than have pressure, or the kids moaning, the parents just give in because they don't care about their kids. If they cared about their kids, most parents don't care about their kids. John Lennon once said that 99% of the parents that are alive are half dead. And that is true. Most of them probably just had kids by accident and didn't want them. And so when you see a family and you see kids with smartphones, really young kids with smartphones, that's parents that don't care. Probably parents that didn't want any kids and don't care. And this is most of the time, this is the case. Because you're dealing with people that are asleep and don't care about themselves, so they can't care about you. You might have an ability to give birth, fall pregnant, but that's not a mother. That's another thing. If your kids respect you in 30 years' time and say you're a great person, great mother, then you're a mother. But most of that won't happen, or if they do say that, it'll just be nice. But most of these parents, like I say, most of them are hankering over someone from the past. They've got some sort of psychological, emotional issues, and they're putting that onto the kids. So the parents don't have a clue. The parents don't have a clue about reality. They don't know what they want. And the poor kids are being imposed on this. And this is what the system wants. It wants kids and parents having kids. So then the kids have no chance. And then the smart grid gets them. So what chance do they have? And this is why it's very important for me I know that I've had this awakening so that I speak out and that I do these as much as I can. I can only do as much as I can. I'm not a financially rich person. I'm rich in infinite ways, but not financially yet. And so I just do the best I can. And people that say it's nothing to do with you, or, they don't care. Well, you've been granted a life with infinite opportunity. And so if you don't give back, I don't imagine it would go very well for you. In terms of what you might get in the future. Remember, everything's energy, and what you do comes back. So, you don't owe anyone, but it would be in your best interests to do something, because it would be good for you. and good for the planet, and you do good for others, not because you want something, but because it's good. Because you feel, your heart tells you it's the right thing to do. You know, you had an opportunity in life, so why shouldn't kids? You know, the parents don't care. They don't give a monkeys. They don't even care about themselves. You know, you're talking about suicidal, maniacal parents. Maniacs. And, you know, they don't even like themselves. So that's why people have got to, that's why, you know, there's so much people now speaking up against 5G, so much awakening going on. This is why the system's putting this all out there. You know, and putting adverts on television about the smarts is there to help climate change. It's not to help climate change. It's to basically get the smart grid out there, so in the future, when it's out there, all the system must say, well, you wanted it to help climate change. You see, the system always turns it round on us, you see. And makes, and what they do is that they basically manipulate us to actually do this. That's what they do. They're always playing mind games, you see. And you've got to be more aware to actually notice it. You know, one of the mind games is, for example, the poppy time, you know, that was, you know, the other day, and ongoing. It's the same thing with that. You know, you got a bunch of people wearing poppies. They don't really know what they're supporting. They weren't there in the wars, and yet they support it. And yet they repeat they're free. Like yesterday, I saw football players with shirts that had poppies on them, but the shirts had poppies like drawn onto them, and the players weren't allowed not to wear them. So if that's freedom, then what's slavery? You know, it's craziness. And people still repeat that we're free because of soldiers. When you're saying that, you're saying you're free because of war. You're saying war is freedom. So people subconsciously are believing war is freedom, marriage is ownership. You know, that's what basically people are believing. That's what marriage is, it's ownership. When you marry someone, you're marrying them so you have the right over what they're doing. That's creepy. You know, people talk of creepy. Well, that is really creepy. To want to control someone's every action that they're doing. Insane. And that's marriage for him. You know, but the reason the system is, like I say, getting this 5G and all this technical stuff out there as quickly as possible is because of the global awakening. It knows it's game over, you see. It can't ban everyone from Facebook. I had a video banned the other day from Facebook because they don't like, I was talking about love and they don't like that. They don't want people awakening. You know, and I just want to end on here, you know, oneness. I just want to end on what oneness is. Oneness is when you awaken and you understand all is you. Right? All comes from nothing. All is infinite nothing. One infinity nothing, that means all is you. So that means that everything going is you. So if one, I just feel strongly to end on this point, if you're not acceptant for the dark, and if you're not going to accept that the dark night is the manifestation of the stars and the moon, then you're not accepting all of infinity, and you're not accepting that everything exists because it exists. You know, and this is how you become oneness. You become oneness by understanding everything is part of you. Right, okay, I'm just going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching and listening.